Hello people, today we are going to start with the planning process group project management process, plan procurement management process. So let's see. Plan procurement management is the process of documenting project procurement decisions, specifying the approach, and identifying potential sellers. The key benefit of this process is that it determines whether to acquire outside support, and if so, what to acquire, how to acquire it, and how much is needed, and when to acquire it. The inputs involved are project management plan, requirement documentation, risk register, activity resource requirements, project schedule, activity cost estimates, stakeholder register, enterprise environmental factor, organizational process asset. The tools and techniques involved are make or buy analysis, expert judgment, market research, and meetings. The outputs are procurement management plan, procurement statement of work, procurement documents, source selection criteria, make or buy decisions, change request, and project document updates. So first input it is project management plan. The project management plan describes the need, justification, requirement, and current boundaries for the project. It includes scope baseline content, which is project scope statement. Project scope statement contains product scope description, service description, and result description, the list of all deliverables and acceptance criteria, as well as important information regarding technical issues or concerns that could impact the cost estimating. Identify constraint may include required delivery dates, available skilled resources, and organization policies. The next thing is WBS. The work breakdown structure contains the component of work that may be resourced externally. And the last is in the scope baseline WBS dictionary and other related detailed statement of work provide an identification of the deliverables and a description of the work in each WS component required to produce each deliverable. The next input is requirement documentation, which may include important information about the project requirement that is considered during the planning for procurements, and requirements with contractual and legal implication that may include health, safety, security, performance, environmental, insurance, intellectual property rights, equal employment opportunity, licenses, and permits, all of which are considered when planning for procurements. The next input is risk register, which provides a list of risks along with the results of risk analysis and risk response planning. Updates to the risk register are included with the project document updates from the planned risk response process. The next input is activity resource requirement, which contains information on specific needs such as people, equipment, or location. Then is the project schedule. Project schedule contains information on required timeline or mandated deliverable dates. Then is the activity cost estimates. Cost estimates developed by the procuring activity are used to evaluate the reasonableness of the bids or proposal received from the potential sellers. Then is the stakeholder register, which provides details on the project participants and their interest in the project. Next input is enterprise environmental factors that can influence the plan procurement management include marketplace condition, product services results that are available in the marketplace, suppliers including the past performance or reputation, typical terms and conditions of for product services result or the specific industry and unique local requirement. And the last input is organizational process asset including marketplace conditions, product services and results that are available in the marketplace, suppliers including past performance or reputation, typical terms and conditions for product, services and result or for the specific industry and unique local requirement. All legal contractual relationships generally fall into one or two of the broad families, either fixed price or cost reimbursable. Also, there is a third hybrid type commonly used is called time and material contract. So mainly there are three kinds of contract. First is firm fixed price, second is time material, and third is cost reimbursable. Under the firm or a fixed price is FFP, which is also known as firm fixed price or lump sum. Next is FPIF, which is for fixed price incentive fee. Third is FP with EPA, which is fixed price with economic price adjustment. And the last is FV with R, which means fixed price with redetermination. Here under the cost reimbursable, for the first one is CPFF or CR, which is cost plus fixed fee or cost reimbursable. The second one is CPIF, which means cost plus incentive fee. The third one is CPAF, which means cost plus award fee. And the last is CPPC or CPF, which is cost plus percentage of cost or cost plus fee. And in the middle there is a hybrid form, which is time and material, also called unit price contract. This is hybrid of fixed and cost reimbursable. So let's see the different kinds of contracts and their description. So first one is fixed price, firm fixed price or lump sum contract, and the description is buyer pays a fixed total negotiated price to the seller for a product or service. An example could be 100,000 fixed price contract for a product or service. When to use this type of contract? This type of contract has highest risk and high profit for a potential for sellers. It is suitable for well-defined scope or design. It takes time to negotiate. Scope changes will increase the price, and proposal costs generally absorbed by the vendor. Now let's think about the second one. Second one is fixed price plus incentive fee. And the description says it's fixed price contract plus incentive to meet buyer's objective. So when to use it and their characteristic could be buyer and seller share the risk and saving and decide sharing ratio. Good when seller has incentive to control cost that result in incentives. All costs above price ceiling are seller responsibility. The third type is fixed price with economic price adjustment. Its description is fixed price contract plus annual adjustment for labor or material rates. An example could be $5 million contract over 5 years with 2% EPA. And the characteristic could be good for multi-year contracts and may include a ceiling on adjustment. The fourth type is FP with R, which means fixed price with redetermination. And the description is fixed price contract for an initial period with periodic redetermination. An example could be 1 million contract for first year with half-yearly redetermination. Next is the this can be used. It is useful when initial pricing can be established. A basis to redetermine contract price must be established for this one and may be redetermined upwards or downwards. The next thing is time and material or unit price contract. The description is labor hour or material unit pricing. And the example could be $100 per hour labor or $25 per yard of carpet. So it is basically unit pricing thing. It can be used, or its characteristic are fixed price plus cost reimbursable characteristic, and for staff augmentation and outside expertise. Then next thing is cost reimbursable or cost plus fixed fee. The description is buyer reimburses the seller for actual cost plus a fee as a seller's profit. And the characteristics are buyer has more risk than seller. So this one, useful when the scope of work is not well defined or may alter. Fee may be established as a percentage of estimated cost, usually requires less time to prepare contract. Next thing is CPIF, which is cost plus incentive fee. And then the description is buyer pays the cost plus fee towards profit plus incentive bonus to the seller. So the characteristic could be buyer and seller share the risk and savings and decide sharing ratio. Incentive to align seller's objective with buyer's, include a target fee, target cost, minimum or maximum fee. Then there is a CPAF, which is cost plus award fee. Buyer pays the cost, fees paid upon satisfactory performance criteria. Useful when incentive cannot be devised easily. Limitation is that the award is based on subjective data. And the last is CPPC, which is cost plus percentage of cost or cost plus fee. Buyer pays the cost plus percentage of cost as profit. Highest risk for buyer, not allowed for US government contract. So the last one is highest risk for buyer and the first one is highest risk for seller. Remember this. And this is the unit pricing. T and M are the unit pricing. Next is the tools and technique used. The first tools and technique used is make or buy analysis. Make or buy analysis is a general management technique used to determine whether particular work can be accomplished by the project team or should be purchased. Sometimes a capability may exist within the project organization but may be committed to working on other projects, in which case the project may need to source such effort from outside the organization in order to meet its schedule commitments. Budget constraints may influence make or buy decision. If a buy decision is to be made, then a further decision of whether to purchase or lease is also made. A make or buy analysis should consider all related costs, both direct cost as well as indirect cost. For example, the buy side of the analysis includes both the actual out-of-pocket cost to purchase the product as well as the indirect cost of supporting the purchasing process and purchased item. The next tool and technique is market research. Market research includes examination of industry and specific vendor capabilities. Procurement teams may leverage information gained at conferences, online reviews, and a variety of sources to identify market capabilities. The team may also refine particular procurement objectives to leverage maturing technologies while balancing risk associated with the breadth of vendors who can provide the material or service desired. The next tool and technique is expert judgment. Expert judgment is often used to assess the inputs to and output from this process. Expert purchasing judgment can also be used to develop or modify the criteria that will be used to evaluate seller proposals. Expert legal judgment may involve services of legal staff to assist with the unique procurement issues, terms, and conditions. The output is obviously procurement management plan and includes a long list of things. So let's see. Types of contract to be used, risk management issues, whether independent estimates will be used, whether they are needed as evaluation criteria, those actions the project management team can take unilaterally if the performing organization has a prescribed procurement, contracting, or purchasing department, standardized procurement document if needed, managing multiple suppliers, coordinating procurement with other project aspects, such as scheduling and performance reporting, any constraint and assumption that could affect planned procurement, handling the long lead times to purchase certain items from sellers and coordinating the extra time needed to procure these items with the development of the project schedule. handling the make or buy decisions and linking them into the estimate activity resources and develop schedule processes, setting the schedule date in each contract or for the contract deliverables and coordinating with the schedule development and contract processes. Identifying requirement for performance bond or insurance contracts to mitigate the some form of the project risk. Establishing the direction to provide the sellers on developing and maintaining a work breakdown structure. Establishing the form and format to be used for the procurement contract statement of work. Identifying pre-qualified sellers, if any, to be used. Procurement matrix to be used to manage the contracts and evaluate sellers. So basically the procurement management plan describes how the procurement processes will be managed from developing procurement documentation through the contract closure. And it includes the types of contract it uses. The next output is procurement statement of work, which includes a narrative description of product and service to be supplied under contract. The procurement SOW for each contract is developed from the scope baseline. And the next thing is procurement documents. The buyer prepares a procurement document. Buyer structures procurement document to facilitate an accurate and complete response from each prospective seller to facilitate easy evaluation of the responses. These documents include description of the desired form of the response, the relevant procurement statement of work, and any required contractual provisions. With government contractors, some or all of the content and structure of the procurement document may be defined by regulation. Common terms in use for different types of procurement document may include the request for information, invitation for bid, request for proposal, request for quotation, tender notice, invitation for negotiation, and invitation for seller's initial response. Specific procurement technology used may vary by industry and location for the procurement. Let's learn about what are all these terms. RFI, which is request for information, it gathers information on seller's capabilities, generally followed by RFQ or RFP, and helps prepare RFQ or RFP. What is invitation for bid? Used when customer solicit bids for simple goods and services such as products from catalogs. Price is critical factor and low bid generally wins in case of IFB. Then is the RFP, which is request for proposal, generally issued to request a detailed technical proposal, emphasizes qualification of bidders, including corporate information and resumes. RFPs result in negotiated contracts. Then there is a request for quotation, may involve a subsequent final price quotation for precise requirement. Requests for bids are tenders, and quoted price are generally not binding to either party. The next output is source selection criteria, which includes understanding the need, project or life cycle cost warranty, technical capabilities, management and technical approach, financial status of the company, business size, type and reference, intellectual property rights. When procuring an item readily available from many vendors, price becomes the criteria. The next output is make or buy decision. A make or buy analysis results in a decision of whether particular work can be best be accomplished by the project team or need to be purchased from the outside sources. If the decision is to make an item, then the procurement plan may define processes and agreements internal to the organization. A buy decision drives a similar process of reaching agreement with a supplier for the product or service. The next output is change request, a decision that involves procuring goods, services, or resources typically require a change request. Other decisions during procurement planning can also create the need for additional change requests. Change requests are processed for review and disposition through the performed integrated change control process. So guys, I hope you got some idea on the plant procurement management processes. So come back to my channel or subscribe to my channel for more videos on PMP and other things. Thank you so much for watching. See you soon.